If the world is a game whose rules are written by the god, and sorcerers are those who cheat and cheat, then who has written the rules of sorcery? Zarathinius, A Defense of the Arcane Arts. Alright, so third chapter. Let's see. Starts off excuse me. One of the things it starts off with is talking about the god Momus, or I guess the aspect Momus, the god or aspect of sea and dice and storms. And I don't know, I really love details like that where it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? Like you could see how a god associated with storms could be associated with chance and fate and I don't know. I just like seeing touches like that where it makes things feel real and sort of like lived in. I don't know. I appreciate that sort of stuff. Sumna, little arrow to Rome. I'm not sure what I was going for with that. Sumna being like Rome. It sort of is like Rome and sort of like the Vatican. I guess maybe I'm going to say I don't know a whole lot about Christianity, and so a lot of this series is going to go over my head. Give me just 1 second to take a drink here, please. I know the Vatican is a holy place in Christianity for some people, but I don't know what happened there to make it holy. I don't know if it's where Jesus died or where he I know it's not where he was born. That was in Bethlehem, and I remember that because of the Star of Bethlehem, which I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. I don't actually know what star it refers to, but I know that's not what the Vatican is. But I know that the Holy Motu is a lot like Jerusalem. I know Shima is like the city of Jerusalem. So I guess then Holy Motu would be like historical Israel. I think I don't know a whole lot about those things, so I'm just setting up what my understanding of the parallels sort of are. So, but anyway, Sumna is like and I'm sure everybody listening knows this, but it's sort of the capital of the not the empire. It's the capital of, or is it the cap? No, Momum is the capital of the empire, of course. Sumna is the capital of the thousand temples. Thousand temples? No, that's thousand halls. I'm a little out of it right now, so pardon me if my thoughts get a little loopy, but um yes, so it's an important place. The ship captain probes for details, like he's talking about some weird sex thing. I don't know. I thought that was a funny way to describe it, right? I'm sure that's an experience that Backer has often. um, Also, the experience that Akamian had with the Anta when he was a little boy sort of reminded me of the experience that Kellis had in the prologue, where he had that experience of being overwhelmed by the statistical tides and all the randomness of not being in this confined little autistic cult, for once in his life. And so I don't know. That may also have been him experiencing the Anta to some degree. I don't know. I just thought I made a note of it. Page 88. Arrow meh writing. Damn it, my book is in my car, so I don't know what that refers to. But I also have something saying isolation and loneliness. So Maybe there's meh writing on page 88 talking about isolation and loneliness. I don't know. Damn it, I'll have my book with me next time. I normally have it with me. Um, anyway, it goes on. The tusk is described as being so ancient as to be innocent. I thought that was really funny. Just because the Ankori either fabricated the tusk or fucked with the tusk, and so it's about as innocent as, I don't know, a a, a poisoned egg, but like hard boiled, but you don't know it's poisoned. So you think it's good, but it's not. That's the tusk is like that. Um, oh, one cannot raise walls against what has been forgotten, right? So you can't protect against the Inkoroi. Inkoroi, not Inkorai, sorry. Inkoroi, you can't protect against them if you don't think about them ever, right? What, the fuck, the mandate. Think about the consult. The consult is like a little mini tick hanging off of the fat, curved phallus of the Inkoroi, or at least that's how it used to be. But the Inkoroi, I think, are much scarier as a thing than the consult. They are kind of both. The consult is what it is. I can understand wanting to not be damned, but I don't know. I'm getting so off track here. Anyway, Inkoroi, yes. Ancient is to be innocent. The Inkoroi are explicitly not innocent. The reason they do everything is because they know they are going to burn in essentially hell and be bred literally and literally to literally be bred, as in have demons most likely ejaculate lava into your soul, or whatever, or to be bred as in they feed upon the suffering. I just thought that was funny. So no, they are not innocent. They are stained. They are the opposite of innocent, and the tusk is theirs. And so it is, while not visibly stained, or probably even stained with the mark, um, it's stained insofar as it has their taint and touch to it. Excuse me. Let's see. The meeting with Esme. It is what it is. It's Backer trying to write women. It's not that great. Uh, I think this is the first time we see her in the series. Yeah, I have problems with Esme and the female characters in these books. They're not that well written. Um, for now, I'll just sort of brush over this, because this we haven't gotten to the point where Eärwa and Esme are together, and I like that meeting with all three of them. It feels like a Scooby Doo episode or something, which is just so off base for what is going to happen to these poor people. But that particular section is not in this chapter. So I'm just going to sort of brush over the Esme meeting. Akka may have the chills or the fevers. That sucks. I hate having fevers of any kind. And I can relate to this. There was this one summer when I was visiting. I have family in Austria, and I was overseas visiting during the summer, and it was extremely hot, and I had some extremely intense like pelvic pain, or like lower abdominal, whatever, somewhere around there. It was extremely painful, and it was so hot out. It was I knew exactly what it felt like to be Akka in this section when I was reading it, because I was like, I have lived that exact same thing. Oh, so poor Akka. That was rough. Anyway, so we move on from there. Eärwa we're now with, who is sort of entranced by a commune to come to the bar wherever they are. Um, yeah, recruiting arrow, sad arrow manipulation. Oh man. I read the first part of this chapter way long ago, and I'm just now getting up to reading the second half. And so the second half of it is in my mind. The first half not so much. So give me a moment to decipher my notes. um I did make a note of that. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting close to the point where my notes start to overlap. Uh, okay, all right. So yeah, he's there. So we meet finally Sarcellus. Yes, Knight Commander Sarcellus, who's described as having curiously dead eyes and a weird face, or a face that doesn't, I don't know, the shadows are different or something. I don't remember precisely, but we get some subtle hints that point to Sarcellus being a skin spy. Um, if you know he's a skin spy, then it's like, okay, well, that's obviously, I know why his eyes are dead. It's not curious for me because I know it. Um, and let's see, his face and his eyes. Yeah, so I don't know. I just like stuff like that. And when I was reading it for the first time, I was just like, oh, that's, just a description, whatever. Maybe the dude's a weirdo, right? Like dead eyes, whatever. Ooh. And it's like, no, actually, he's like a weird flesh machine. But I guess we are all weird flesh machines. Another note I had made is that in Rao, so I've been switching back and forth between reading and listening on audiobook, and I think I might go for listening on audiobook more now, just because it's a little easier for me to, I don't know, if I'm writing and reading as opposed to listening and reading, it's a lot easier for me to switch between listening and writing and then back again than it is to read and write and then read again, because I don't know, I feel like I don't have to put out in the same stream. I'm getting something coming in. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so there's also this one point where Sarcellus, after he, backhands the shit out of Akami and tells him that I've waited like I've longed to do that. I've wanted to do that for a long time, you know. And I'm sure he wanted to do much worse than a little slap to the face. But I am curious as to who Sarcellus was talking to. Was he talking to a commune or to Chigra, Saswatha? I don't. I think. I think it. I mean, it works both ways, right? Like if it. Well, it doesn't work if you're just thinking of Knight Captain Sarcellus and a commune, then it doesn't make sense. But if you know he's a skin spy, then is it is it Sarcellus the skin spy saying it like, oh, I've been tailing a commune for so long, I want to rape a bitch or something. I'm sure again he would want to do much worse than that. Or is he like, yeah, I'm a skin spy. I've been around for a long time, and Saswatha is just a pain in the ass, and I want to beat the shit out of him wherever I see him, sort of thing. So, I don't know. And then did I continue to take more notes? Sorry, if my voice changes, I'm sort of just changing positions. I don't know if my laptop is still doing the clicky clicky thing it does when I record stuff sometimes. Hopefully not. Anyway, oh, so then we get to the part where Akka is just sort of, he's just walking in Sumna and he starts crowd surfing while he's suffering from the fevers. That's just a totally normal thing people used to do back then. They used to go crowd surfing. So I don't know. I always find that comical thinking about it. Just the picture in my head of poor Akamian sweating his ass off and probably, yeah, vomiting or at least retching, while crowd surfing towards Mathanet. It was like this like 6'4" blonde or black haired guy with blonde roots, surrounded by like 5'9" manlet brown guys, and I don't know. I just think it's a funny mental image. Um, and I don't know why the crowd surfing is in there. It could have gone it could have gone any other way. Maybe I'm just laughing at nothing, Backer, but like I don't know if that's something that happened in the Crusades or something. Like there was the crowd surfing part of the Crusades that I just didn't learn about. I don't know. Anyway, so Metha declares war on Shima, which is unsurprising considering the goal is to fight the consult. And if he declared war on the schools, they would be completely unable to destroy the consult. So good call, Mathanet. Good job. Anyway, so moving on from this, Metha meets Akka. We see that Metha is one of the few, which again, I I got the sense that being one of the few is not, excuse me, like a genetic trait. It's just sort of a thing that manifests. And maybe the Dunye, or not the Dunye, sorry, the Anasarimber bloodline is special or something. Maybe they're particularly prone towards being one of the few and being able to see the mark and all that, but I don't know. That just confuses me because it's like, okay, I can understand maybe if siblings or twins, right? Twins are especially prominent in this series. Um, and I can see how those could be more prone to being the few, but just like this one family just happens to have like everybody as part of the few. Like, what? That just didn't seem like something that was anywhere else in this world, right? Like it never felt like the Scarlet Spires was composed of bloodlines, which I think it would be if it were that sort of system. So I don't know. Anyway, going on, we go on to meet Proyas or Poyas. Oh, anyway, poor Proyas. I'll try to limit how many how many gay rape jokes I make, because I know they're not funny, and I still find myself chuckling like a freaking 5-year old when I read some of this stuff, especially about Proyas submitting to his god and him like drooling over this tusk. Oh man, I'm so sorry, Proyas. He really does get shafted. Oh geez. Oh, I'll cut it out. Um, whew. So anyway, Proyas sees Metha as a new teacher, which Mathanet obviously knew would be what Proyas most wanted to 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 have, or that would be the most advantageous way for Proyas to perceive him, and so that's how Mathanet styled himself. Um, in his interactions with Proyas. Oh man, computer, don't shut off on me, please. Yes, and following on from that, Mathanet, the name, I forgot to write down what it was in the language of the Tusk. I think it was like Mai Tahana or something, but it means something like instruction, and it reminds me of that like weird esoteric thing where it's like you have to tell somebody that you're going to victimize them before you do it so that they're aware of it or something like that. I don't remember precisely what it is because I'm not like a big esoteric person, but like I don't know, that vaguely rings a bell where it's like, oh, these people who do these bad things, they have to tell you what they're gonna do. So, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It just reminds me because the Dunyain are openly stating, yeah, we are going to instruct you people. You are going to be our slaves, essentially, is what Mathanet is saying with a name like that. But they don't see it as that. They see it as religious instruction and guidance, which, not to be an edgy fedora hat tipping faggot, I guess. I'm transgender. I have a penis. I have dated men, so I can say that word, I think. Um anyway, so oh shit, where was I going with that? They will instruct yeah. So yeah, the Dunyain are, I don't know, it just sort of reminded me of that esoteric principle of you have to tell the person, or like, it's the same reason why there's a lamb at a slaughter to watch the other one getting killed, to know that, you know to have it known that somebody died, I guess, was sacrificed, right? What is the sacrifice if nobody's around to see it, sort of thing. And of course, so that the creature being sacrificed knows that it's going to die. If it's just by itself, it's probably going to freak out. If there's another one just sitting there staring at you and you're, like completely unable to move, you probably know that you're about to die. So the animal would, in its own dim way, be cognizant of its own impending doom. And I don't know, I've never done any sacrificial rituals because that seems pretty fucked up to me. I'm not big on violence against animals or people. Are animals. People are animals. So violence against animals includes people, animals. Anyway, and then at the end there, we get the little cliffhanger, Mathanet asking Proyas about a Kamian, which isn't really much of a cliffhanger. Mathanet just sends him a letter eventually saying, do whatever a Kamian wants. But we'll get to that when we get to it. I don't know if I really have anything else written down for this. Sorry if this is a bit of a shorter episode. And sorry I haven't really been doing this lately. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. But that's not really relevant. What's relevant is that I have had time to do this now and I've done it, and we'll see if it ever makes its way onto the internet. All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening, you guys. Have a good night.